Kind of feels like we're always chasing the next big thing in tech. Right now, it's AI. Every conference, every headline is about this model or that algorithm. But if you step back a few years, there was another shift that quietly became just as foundational as the internet itself. The concept is pretty simple. Instead of doing everything on your local machine, a laptop, a phone, or even a desktop, you offload the heavy lifting to remote servers and just interact with them from wherever you're at. Amazon kind of had a big problem back in the day, and they created the modern concept of cloud computing. They have a huge influx of people every Prime Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, and so they needed the server resources in order to handle the traffic for those days. And it's not really easy just to kind of buy all that stuff, and for the rest of the year, you can't really use it. You're not going to have nearly as much traffic as you did on those 3 days any other day of the year. So to solve that imbalance, Amazon built a platform where anyone could rent compute power on demand. It was as close to a win-win as you could get. AWS grew into a multi-billion-dollar business, and developers everywhere gained instant access to scalable resources without having to build their own data centers, without worrying about power, cooling, or physical security. What used to require an entire IT department could suddenly be spun up with a credit card and a few clicks. If we fast forward to today, we are all considered, quote unquote, cloud citizens. Whether you're backing up photos to iCloud or Google Photos, streaming Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, or Paramount Plus, or just playing games on NVIDIA GeForce Now, Xbox Cloud Gaming, or Amazon Luna, these services are all built within that cloud. Even the way developers work has changed, from solo hobbyists, hosting projects on platforms, to large enterprises running complex microservices across multiple regions. The general idea is that the cloud's ease of use and ease of deployment and its standardized APIs make it really, really hard to resist the urge to use it. But there's an emerging reality. The hype around everything in the cloud is kind of feeling a little overhyped now. In the past, small developers struggled just to keep a personal website alive on a home network. It was really, really hard. You had to pay for an expensive server, you had to deal with dynamic IPs, or you had to rely on unreliable shared hosting. In contrast, today, you can just buy a $500 mini PC and run a web server 24/7 with almost no fuss. Gigabit internet is commonplace in many parts of the United States, and power efficiency has massively improved, and edge devices are more capable than ever. The technology that once made cloud computing essential is now sitting under people's desks, yet we're still tied to the subscription model. So then why do we keep gravitating towards the cloud? One of the main reasons is the economics of it. The idea of pay as you go is really enticing to a lot of people. We've moved away from owning physical albums or even iTunes libraries to streaming everything on Spotify. From buying DVDs to juggling multiple streaming subscriptions just to watch the shows we like. Large enterprises echo that same pattern, preferring predictable monthly fees over capital expenditures on hardware. On paper, it looks cheaper. No upfront purchase, no maintenance, no contracts, but in the long run, those monthly fees quietly add up and they never stop. With this shift towards renting services, the idea of ownership largely goes out the window. And that's something most people seem fine with. Like, we moved away from owning our own compute and being able to fully govern what's happening on it. If you subscribe to Amazon Luna and really like a particular game, there's nothing stopping Amazon from pulling that title tomorrow. The same thing happens with streaming platforms like Netflix. You might watch a show for years only for it to suddenly disappear and reemerge on another service. Meanwhile, you could have just bought the DVD once and have that content for forever. Even in the development space, the same problem exists. If you build a service and store massive amounts of user data in a database, you don't truly control that data, even though you built kind of the entire thing. You can't just pick it up and move it elsewhere for free. You have to pay to access it, you have to pay to process it, and you also have to pay sometimes a lot of money to export it. These so-called egress fees are designed by these cloud providers to kind of keep you locked in and having to keep your data stored in their cloud. You're effectively renting your own data back from the provider, and you don't really get a say in how that works. And as an industry, we're just mostly okay with that. Even if you avoid these services entirely and are dead set on self-hosting everything, you're still affected by what cloud providers are doing. Take the ongoing memory and component shortages. These companies have massive checkbooks and an enormous demand for compute. And when they need RAM, storage, or GPUs, they get the priority. And consumers and small businesses get what's left. Like already this year, Dell has, announced that they are going to be increasing the price for a lot of their laptops because of the memory shortage. And in all honesty, these cloud providers probably would really like that, for us to not really have all of these items that we can do all of our own compute with, because that means that they can just charge us more for a monthly subscription. It's a lot better for them if they can just take away all of our gaming computers and our laptops, all these different things, and just have a really small computer that can interact with the web, so that we have to pay hundreds of dollars a month just to get access to all the things that we need to get access to, instead of being able to get to it on our own. Now, I'm not saying that the cloud has no benefits, because it absolutely does. I've used it for a lot of my stuff, and it makes things a lot easier that you can't really do on a local system, especially when working with like large data sets and stuff like that. And that's kind of the idea. It creates this idea of easily accessible and scalable compute, which is genuinely amazing. You're not boxed into a single machine specs. So if your database suddenly gets slammed with a ton of traffic, it doesn't have to crash. It doesn't have to lag. It can just automatically scale up with more CPU cores, more memory, and more storage. And that can just kind of alleviate a lot of the pain for developers. And that flexibility just enables products that simply would not exist otherwise. And I could think of a few off the top of my head. And for certain workloads, the cloud is just still the right tool for the job. But the overenthusiasm has also just pushed some really bad trends. Convenience has really started to outweigh control. Subscriptions have replaced ownership. Lock-in is treated as normal, and people don't really care as long as they can watch the next episode of Love Island or play a game without buying a console or a PC. Feels like we've traded away more than we've realized, and only now are we starting to sober up to that fact. Maybe the future isn't everything in the cloud or everything self-hosted, but somewhere in between. A world where we're more intentional about what we rent, what we own, and what we actually need to give up control over. Because once you lose that control, getting it back isn't nearly as easy as signing up was. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate you giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. Again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.